Hello my wonderful friends, Magus here, and today we are on number 8. I have 3 books I want to try to get to, but we'll see how it goes. First we're going to start with Plotinus, the Greek philosopher. Grace, that is movement which does well. This is so important to remember as we try to get into this study, that grace is movement which does well. Artists try to grasp it in attitudes of the head or in the feminine smile, but one can just as easily have a premonition of it in such fundamental movements of living nature as the beating of wings or the waves of the sea. Observe, said Leonardo da Vinci, the meandering of each thing. If, in other words, you want to know a thing well and depict it well, observe the type of grace that is particular to it. And again, so if you're observing in nature or animal or things, the grace that is in it, and that is the movement which does well. This is because it reveals the nature of the creative principle. So seeing God in it. Life is grace because God is grace. The grace of things proceeds from divine goodness. In grace, God becomes perceptible to the heart. That's another thing I want you to remember, that God becomes perceptible to the heart. Okay, now I want to take a quick look at 3 Magic Words, another great book. It says, thought is the only mover. According to the degree of your conscious intelligence, you will grasp the power that is yours. According to your conscious intelligence, you will project images into the subconscious mind, which are great or small. Thus there will be returned to you only those circumstances of which you are capable of conceiving. But whatever you conceive will be returned to you. And if doubt and fear predominate your thinking, those things that you fear will be visited upon you, for they are convictions that the subconscious mind must create into actuality. We can't escape living in the subconscious mind, and we can't escape thinking, and we can't escape having our thoughts manifest themselves in our physical world. But we can control our thoughts. We can control our thoughts, and thus we can control our destinies, and we can become as great and as powerful as we can conceive of being. For there is at our disposal the unlimited power of creation. Okay, so it's saying out of our mind we create, which we know, the Buddha said that, with our thoughts we create our world. But it's out of what mind you create. Are you creating out of grace, out of good, out of the good mind? And then that brings us, of course, to my favorite book ever, Asha. And the Magi had a prayer, and they revealed to you how to get the good mind. And as the Bible taught, know only good. Because what you know, what in your subconscious, is what you will vibrate and what you will create. That's why the Christ mind is so important, that you realize that God is all good and that you are one with that all goodness, and you vibrate that, because what you vibrate you're going to create in your world. And that's why 2 people can be in the same place and one person can see a beautiful world, beautiful colors, beautiful mountains, beautiful sky, just be in peace and health and joy and just living a good life, and the person right next to him in the same time space sees a completely different world, an ugly world, a sad world, a depressed world. You have to have the good mind. And here's the secret. I'll say the whole prayer and I'll take us back to the secret. But truth is the highest good, and your joy is found within. So the highest good, Asha, God's highest thought, when the perfect creator created a perfect world with his perfect mind, and it's living in that. Happy the man who is perfect spirit in Asha. Asha, heaven on earth. The will of good spirit is Asha. Your creator wants you to live in your good, and that's good to know. The good mind is given for deeds done in this life, world, for good, for God. He who helps the poor makes God king. And there's the secret right there. The good mind is given for deeds done in this life for God for good. As we learned before, God and good, same thing. So it's holding that good, that God in your mind. And so I would like to give you maybe a few exercises and meditations you can do to do that. And it's not always easy. And this is where a lot of people turn around on their spiritual journeys. When you try to get them to receive that bread of life, that love, pure love inside of them, they want to fight it because they want to hold on to maybe some pet sins or some ideas that they've had, and they don't want to let them go. And a lot of times this is where they turn around. When the rich man came to Jesus and said, "How can I be saved?" And he said, "Get rid of everything and come follow me." And he turned around sad because he didn't want to give up what he had. And this is where many turn around, and I hope I don't lose any of you here, but it's receiving God good into your mind, and I promise you, you'll be happy with the results. You will not miss any of your old life. Life will be free and beautiful, Asha, the way it's meant to be, what your heart is always seeking for and desiring. So what do you have to do? You have to let love completely come into you. What did Jesus say? He said, have no enemies. So you're going to have a change of thought maybe about what you were taught about war and soldiers and fighting. And if you have no enemy, and Jesus said, love your enemy. So you're going to have a change of thought about that. And we live in a society where there's a draft where they can take your children and put them into a war, but they tell you that they will be heroes, and they honor them as heroes. And it's hard to think, well, if you're going to be a Christ follower, now you can be what they call a Christian nowadays and go into war and fight and stuff, but if you're going to be a Christ follower, he said, love your enemies. So you're not going to be able to do that anymore, and that's going to rub a lot of people the wrong way. What you eat, hunting and fishing, you might have to give those up. Killing and destroying is not an attribute of God. Spraying bug spray around your house, poisoning the earth, and killing bugs, that is not an attribute of God. You're going to have to learn to live in the protection of God, in the harmony with nature, where the animals and the bugs won't come in and bite you, and whatever you're fearing, that you live in a harmony in God's perfect idea, Asha, which is possible. It takes faith, it takes belief on a subconscious level. It can be done. I live in it, and it's beautiful, and I love it. And if I see a spider in the house, I get a cup and I take it outside. I don't smash it. And so I'm going to ask you guys for 1 month to have a new thought, to live only in love, to have a change of heart, to let the good mind in, and don't kill anything. I'm going to ask you to be a vegetarian for a month. Don't eat any animals. Eat only plant-based diet, and get protein shakes if you need to, or you can get protein from soy and different things, and be more mindful of what you're taking into yourself. Be more mindful of what you're taking into your mind. I'm going to ask you not to watch negative news and TV shows and movies, or listen to negative music, but to put positive music and things into your mind, and it will actually start to change your vibration, and which in turn will change the vibration around you. It'll change your family's vibration, it'll change your animals' vibrations, it'll change the vibration in your land. I'm going to ask you to take in the bread of life, complete love for everything. I want you to see, when you see a duck with its little ducklings and it's showing them love, if a thing loves, it's infinite, so you can't eat it, you can't shoot it. See what I'm saying? Because you can see God in it. I want you to see God in trees, in nature, because it's life, and God is life. And the evil spirit is death, God is life. I want you to see in yourself God in you, life in you, love in you, peace in you, and start doing your I am meditations every day. You have to do it. It's like if someone comes and say they don't feel good, and you tell them you need to drink more water, and they get mad and say, well, I already know that, but they don't drink the water. You have to do your meditations every day before you go out, at least for 15 minutes. Put on some good music, some just soft music, and just meditate. I am life. and then feel the life in you. I am love, and think of things you love. I am grateful, and think for all the things you are grateful for. So much magic and gratefulness. You'll be so surprised. And then peace. I am peace, I am joy. And now as you're getting rid of the negative TV and music and things you had, and you're meditating peace, and you're going out into nature and coming into a resonance with God's creation, your vibration will start to change. Your life will change. You'll be born again. You'll be awakened, and you will thank me later. So anyway, I love you guys so much, and I'll see you next time.